If we truly follow the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, why don't we follow his example of doing that which he used to do in the month of Ramadan with Jibreel, and that was reviewing the Qur'an, reading it, studying it, memorizing, trying to understand the message from your Lord. The Qur'an is a message from your Lord. Allah Azza wa Jal is speaking to you. So where are we from the book of Allah Azza wa Jal in the blessed month of Ramadan? My dear brothers and sisters, look at the statement of Uthman, the third Khalifa of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because many of us, subhanAllah, even in Ramadan, some of us, we find it difficult to read the Qur'an. We read it for some time and then, a'udhu billah, we go back on our devices. Uthman radiallahu ta'ala anhu said something. It's reported in the book of Zuhud by Imam Ahmad, where he brought a statement of Uthman bin Affan. We know he was the fourth Khalifa, and he was also the son-in-law of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Uthman bin Affan radiallahu ta'ala anhu said, لو طهرت قلوبكم ما شبعت من كلام الله عز وجل. If your hearts were purified, you will not become bored of the speech of Allah. So many of us, وَنَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ, the reason why we find the Qur'an difficult and we don't want to read it and we don't want to study it is because our hearts are not purified. If our hearts were purified, like Uthman said, we would not become bored with the speech of Allah. That is the speech of your Lord. So how can you become bored? How can you read it for a few minutes and then you go back to your phone? You go back to the apps, scrolling up and scrolling down. Ramadan is the month of the Qur'an. Throw away that phone. Get rid of it. Focus on the book of Allah Azza wa Jal. Guidance, mercy. This is the way of the believer. Uthman radiallahu ta'ala anhu had another statement. He said, ما أحب أن يأتي علي يوم ولا ليلة ولا أنظر في كلام الله. He said, I do not love that a night and a day come and I do not look in the book of Allah. He's talking about the rest of the year. I do not love that a night and a day comes and I do not look in the book of Allah. What about those of us that a year has passed and we have not looked in the book of Allah? 6 months, 8 months, we not look in the book of Allah. So do you really expect guidance in your life? Do you really expect Allah to correct your affairs? Where is your position from the book of Allah Azza wa Jal? أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه وتوبوا إليه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم.